The Florida Department of Transportation, Florida's Turnpike Enterprise, welcomes you to the Corridor Alternatives public meeting for the Coastal Connector Alternative Corridor Evaluation Study. Today's meeting is the second of 3 scheduled public meetings for this study. The purpose of today's meeting is to update you on the study and to gather your input on the preliminary corridor alternatives currently under consideration. We will review the purpose of the study, review the need for a new transportation corridor, discuss the process used to identify and evaluate potential corridor alternatives, and provide information on how you can offer your input and stay connected. The Coastal Connector Alternative Corridor Evaluation Study is a high-level planning study that is in the first phase of a multi-phase process. The purpose of the study is to determine the feasibility and potential location of a new transportation corridor in Citrus and Marion counties to serve Tampa Bay to the I-75 US 301 region. By the end of the study, we want to have gathered enough information to help determine whether or not this project should move forward to a more detailed phase of analysis called a Project Development and Environment Study, or PD&E. Major transportation improvements can take decades to realize, so we believe this is the time to begin planning and investing in our future transportation systems. Delay in planning can result in continued deterioration of our roadways, increased congestion, and rising costs. The intent of this study is to keep the region moving forward by establishing a long-term vision and plan for transportation. The Coastal Connector Alternative Corridor Evaluation Study was started by Florida's Turnpike Enterprise in late 2016 and is expected to be completed by early 2019. Since the public kickoff meeting held in October 2017, numerous activities have been completed, including the identification of 5 preliminary corridor alternatives, which are available for review at today's meeting. As the study progresses, frequent communication and coordination with the public will continue to play an important role. The study is following a process developed by the Florida Department of Transportation known as an Alternative Corridor Evaluation, or ACE. The ACE process helps identify reasonable corridor alternatives and is used to evaluate and document potential alternatives that can be carried forward into the PD&E phase. And now, let us walk through the first 4 steps which have been completed to date. The need for a new corridor is based on addressing some of the biggest transportation challenges facing our area over the next 30 years or more, including population growth, increased traffic congestion, increased truck and visitor traffic, and hurricane evacuation clearance times. An evaluation of these needs early in the study helped define Citrus and Marion County as the study area. Additional information on the need for the project is available in the exhibit room at today's meeting. Step 2 of the corridor evaluation process involved a data collection effort of various sensitive environmental features within the study area, including social, natural, cultural, and physical characteristics. This information was mapped and will later be used to evaluate and compare corridor alternatives. The study area was then screened using a weighted system based on the importance of the environmental features and data collected. The study area was refined to an analysis area for more detailed evaluation. This process, known as land suitability mapping, allows the project team to identify areas of opportunity when placing a corridor alternative. Following the screening process, 5 preliminary corridors were identified within the study area, which are presented at today's meeting. For purposes of this study, a corridor width of 500 feet is being used, which is wider than the anticipated facility. This width gives flexibility to shift the potential alignment within the initial corridor envelope to avoid or minimize impacts during potential future phases. The corridor alternatives are divided into a southern and northern segment. The southern segments for all corridor alternatives connect to the approved Suncoast Parkway 2 in Citrus County and end at County Road 326 in Marion County. The northern segments extend from County Road 326 to US 301 to address the regional connectivity. Details on the location of each preliminary corridor alternative are available for review at today's meeting. The naming of the corridors along the southern segment are based on where they cross the Withlacoochee River. 4 crossings of the Withlacoochee have been identified and are referred to as A, B, C, and D. Corridor A1 crosses the river at Lake Rousseau west of Dunellen. Corridor B1 crosses the river near Dunellen. Corridors C1 and C2 cross the river east of Dunellen, and Corridor D1 crosses the river west of State Road 200. Two alternatives for the northern segment are under consideration and are referred to as Option 1 and Option 2. Option 1 would include a new interchange with I-75, and Option 2 would include improvements to the existing I-75 and State Road 326 interchange. Potential typical section options for this study consider accommodations for future changes in transportation technology, such as automated vehicles. Two of the typical section options include an envelope for a multi-use trail adjacent to the roadway. The trail would connect to the proposed Suncoast Parkway multi-use trail and could potentially connect to other trails crossed by the proposed corridor alternatives. After today's meeting, the project team will refine the corridor alternatives based on your input and will further evaluate and document each corridor alternative's potential impacts. The final evaluation results will be presented at the next public meeting scheduled for late 2018. We will also provide a recommendation on which alternatives, if any, may advance to the PD&E phase of the project development process. Until then, there are a number of ways you can provide your input and stay involved in the study as noted in the following slides. For further information about the study, you may contact any of Florida's Turnpike Enterprise staff here or send an email to info@coastalconnector.com. All of the contact information is also presented in your handout. To provide comments at today's meeting, you can complete a comment form and drop it in the comment boxes provided. You can also submit a comment or view today's presentation materials by visiting our website at www.coastalconnector.com. To help you stay connected, a mobile application is also available for download. Simply scan the code on your handout or visit the study website for more details. We appreciate your attendance and hope to see you at future meetings. Please visit the exhibit room to view the preliminary corridor alternatives and meet with the study team members. This concludes our presentation. If you have missed any part of this presentation, it will restart again momentarily.